Next time you stand near a railway crossing, just look down. Under the massive metal rails, you will notice endless rocks. Why do we put ultra-fast modern trains on a pile of gravel? Why not secure everything onto a flat, solid concrete surface? The truth involves clever engineering and ancient ship fleets. To grasp this mystery, we must acknowledge the sheer scale. Trains are incredibly heavy vehicles. A fully loaded freight locomotive and its cargo weigh many thousands of tons combined together. Placing that gigantic physical load directly onto regular soft soil would cause a massive disaster. The intense downward pressure would compress the earth, completely burying the shiny metal tracks. That is precisely why engineers utilize an invention called railway track ballast as a foundation. Picture the railway as an architectural suspension system. The steel tracks form the top layer. They rest on thick horizontal planks, called sleepers, which distribute the downward force safely. Below that sits a thick bed of crushed stone. This rocky layer acts as an essential shock absorber. It disperses the monstrous downward energy over a much wider surface area of the ground below. Astonishingly, nothing is permanently bolted to the earth. The entire structure is simply floating. Relying entirely on friction and gravity, this unique setup gives the railway vital flexibility. As a heavy locomotive rushes by, the track bends slightly, absorbing dangerous shock vibrations. Without this dynamic movement, the rigid metal rails would instantly shatter under extreme stress. However, you cannot just grab ordinary pebbles from a river. Track rocks are uniquely designed. If you hold one of these fragments, you will feel incredibly sharp, jagged, and rough edges. Imagine trying to sprint across a floor covered in thousands of perfectly smooth glass beads. You would instantly slip and fall. Smooth objects simply roll off one another under pressure. If trains traveled over rounded river rocks, the violent shaking would push the stones outward. The entire pathway would literally slide apart, causing an immediate, catastrophic derailment. Therefore, builders crush incredibly hard minerals, such as granite, into jagged fragments. These angular pieces behave exactly like puzzle components. They tightly interlock with one another. The jagged corners bite together, forming a highly secure base that resists sideways movement. These locking stones fight thermal expansion. Metal rails stretch significantly in hot summers. Extreme atmospheric heat forces the steel to bend outward. This phenomenon is called a sun kink. The immense weight of the surrounding crushed rock tightly holds the sleepers firmly in position. This stops the track from warping out of shape when temperatures soar into the triple digits. Beyond bearing immense weight, this rocky blanket neutralizes two relentless natural enemies. The first major threat is heavy rainfall. Pouring water destroys solid dirt foundations instantly. A completely flat concrete path would trap rainwater, eventually rusting the metal hardware. Crushed rock forms a brilliant natural sieve. Moisture instantly drains downwards and away. This constant filtration ensures the soil underneath remains completely dry and highly stable. The second major enemy is vegetation. You rarely spot thick green bushes growing between the rails. Deep layers of coarse gravel block sunlight and prevent invading plant roots from finding soil. If trees or wild grass took over, their expanding root systems would slowly destroy the level ground. Historically, railway engineers laid tracks on thick wooden ties soaked in protective dark tar. Today, modern railways utilize massive pre-stressed concrete beams to support heavier fast trains. Concrete is incredibly strong but brittle. The rocky cushion beneath prevents it from shattering. However, even hard granite slowly wears down over many years of extreme vibration and friction. The sharp edges grind against each other, producing a fine dust that gradually ruins the drainage. When this happens, giant, automated maintenance trains slowly drive along the affected transit route. They scoop up the entire rocky bed, shake out the dirt, and drop the clean, sharp stones back down. Finally, we must uncover the fascinating nautical history hidden right inside the term ballast. Hundreds of years ago, enormous wooden merchant vessels traveled across turbulent deep oceans. When sailing empty, without heavy cargo, they became dangerously unstable and prone to tipping over. Crews shoveled tons of local rock into the bottom of the hull to weigh the vessel down safely. Upon reaching their destination and loading valuable goods, sailors discarded these heavy rocks. Giant mountains of discarded ship ballast formed along the shores of busy international ports. Early railway pioneers desperately needed cheap, dense materials to stabilize their new tracks. They noticed these abandoned harbor mountains and quickly repurposed them for the railroad tracks. The nautical term stuck. Now you truly understand the hidden brilliance beneath the daily commute. These rugged stones provide crucial drainage, prevent plant growth, and carry immense burdens daily. It is an ancient maritime concept solving a modern high-speed transportation puzzle flawlessly today. If you loved learning about this hidden engineering marvel, please leave a comment down below. Hit the like button and subscribe for more fascinating stories about the world hiding all around us.